Join me as I dive deep into the early days of the internet and challenge myself to create a classic website using only simple text and links, no fancy graphics allowed. In the early days of the internet, websites were a far cry from the visually stunning, multimedia-rich experiences we're used to today. In fact, the first websites were incredibly basic, comprising only simple text and hyperlinks. We're talking black backgrounds, white text, and a whole lot of scrolling. It was a time when the idea of a website was still in its infancy, and those who ventured online were more concerned with accessing information than with aesthetics. Beneath the surface, however, these early websites were revolutionary. They marked the beginning of a new era in human communication, one that would forever change the way we connect, share, and access information. The early internet era was marked by slow connection speeds, limited bandwidth, and a distinct lack of multimedia content. Downloading a single image could take minutes, if not hours, and the thought of streaming video or audio was laughable. Getting online was an adventure in itself. You had to have a dedicated phone line, a modem, and a computer that could handle the task. And even then, there were no guarantees of success. The internet was a wild west of sorts, with few rules, no regulation, and a community of pioneers who were more interested in pushing the boundaries of what was possible than in making a quick buck. In this environment, innovation thrived. Developers, designers, and engineers worked tirelessly to overcome the technical hurdles and create something truly remarkable. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were technical challenges galore, from compatibility issues to security concerns. And yet, despite these obstacles, the internet continued to grow, slowly but surely. One of the biggest challenges facing early internet adopters was the sheer difficulty of finding what you were looking for. There were no search engines to speak of, no Google to rely on. You had to know where to look, or stumble upon it by chance. And even then, there were no guarantees that the information you found was accurate or up to date. The lack of multimedia content was another major limitation. Images, audio, and video were luxuries few could afford. Text was the default, and it was up to the user's imagination to fill in the gaps. In this environment, creativity flourished. Web designers became masters of the written word, using clever typography and layout to create visually striking websites that conveyed complex information in simple, easy-to-digest bytes. The early internet era was a time of experimentation, innovation, and creativity. It was an era that laid the foundation for the internet we know and love today. Despite the limitations, the early internet community was vibrant, diverse, and passionate. People came together to share knowledge, collaborate on projects, and push the boundaries of what was possible. In this sense, the early internet was less about the technology itself and more about the people who used it. It was about community, connection, and the shared sense of purpose that drove innovation. The early internet era was a time of hope, of promise, and of endless possibility. It was an era that shaped the course of human history, and one that we can learn a great deal from today. In the next section, we'll explore the development of the internet from its inception, highlighting key figures, milestones, and the transition from basic text to more complex web design. The internet has come a long way since its humble beginnings. From the first email sent in 1971 to the launch of the World Wide Web in 1991, the internet has undergone a transformation that's nothing short of remarkable. At the heart of this transformation was a small group of pioneers who dared to dream big. People like Vince Cerf, Bob Kahn, and Tim Berners-Lee, who saw the potential of the internet and worked tirelessly to bring it to life. In the early 1960s, the United States Department of Defense commissioned a project to create a network of computers that could communicate with each other. This project, known as ARPANET, was the precursor to the global network we know today. The 1970s saw the emergence of email, followed by the development of the TCP/IP protocol, which allowed different computer networks to communicate with each other. The 1980s were marked by the rise of the personal computer, which brought the internet to the masses. This, in turn, led to an explosion in the number of websites, as well as the development of early web browsers like Mosaic and Netscape. By the 1990s, the internet was in full swing. The World Wide Web had been launched, and websites were becoming more sophisticated by the day. One of the key milestones in the development of the internet was the launch of the first graphical web browser, Netscape Navigator, in 1994. This marked a turning point in the history of the internet, as it made it possible for non-technical users to access and navigate the web with ease. As the internet continued to evolve, web design began to take center stage. Designers and developers worked together to create visually stunning websites that were both functional and aesthetically pleasing. The introduction of JavaScript, CSS, and HTML5 further expanded the possibilities of web design, allowing for the creation of complex, interactive websites that could adapt to different screen sizes and devices. Today, the internet is a global phenomenon, with billions of users and millions of websites. It's hard to imagine a world without it, and yet, just a few decades ago, the internet was a fledgling technology that few people had even heard of. Throughout its history, the internet has been shaped by innovation, creativity, and the collective efforts of a global community. It's a testament to human ingenuity, and a reminder that even the most ambitious ideas can become a reality with determination and hard work. From its humble beginnings to the global phenomenon it is today, the internet has undergone a transformation that's nothing short of remarkable. One of the key moments that changed the landscape of the internet was the introduction of graphical web browsers. Suddenly, users could access and navigate the web with ease, using visual cues and intuitive interfaces to find what they were looking for. This marked a turning point in the history of the internet, as it opened up the web to a whole new audience of non-technical users. Prior to the introduction of graphical browsers, accessing the web required a degree of technical expertise. Users had to know how to use command-line interfaces, and had to be familiar with the syntax of HTML and other programming languages. With the advent of graphical browsers, all of this changed. Users could simply click on a link, and the browser would take care of the rest. This, in turn, led to an explosion in the number of websites, as well as the development of more sophisticated web applications. The introduction of dynamic websites was another key moment in the history of the internet. Suddenly, websites could adapt to user input, updates in real time, and interact with users in ways that were previously impossible. This marked a significant shift in the way we think about the web, from a static repository of information to a dynamic, interactive environment that's constantly evolving. From online shopping to social media, the internet has become an integral part of modern life. It's hard to imagine a world without it, and yet, just a few decades ago, the internet was a fledgling technology that few people had even heard of. As we look back on the journey from simple text and links to the sophisticated web technologies of today, it's clear that the internet has come a long way. From its humble beginnings to the global phenomenon it is today, the internet has undergone a transformation that's nothing short of remarkable. It's a testament to human ingenuity, creativity, and the collective efforts of a global community. So what do you think about the evolution of the internet? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to check out our next video, where we'll be exploring the impact of social media on modern society. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.